Welcome to your 4 to 5. Eric Chilton here with Chad Silver and Lauren Coleman.
Hey everybody, happy Wednesday.
Yeah, made it through half the week.
And I'm glad about it.
I'm too. I'm proud
How
of
about you all?
You know, I'm chugging along. I was under the weather for the last couple of days,
Yes, you
but
were.
I'm back, you know, and taking it one day at a time.
That's good. That's
Good to have you back.
And the
Thank
weather's
you.
good. We're kind of in that typical summertime pattern, so we'll talk about that coming up.
Hey, we got a lot of stuff to cover today. But first, one of the big stories we're following right now, an alarming situation where a man is accused of killing his own sister. Greensboro police arrested James McQueen for second-degree murder related to the death of Kristen Valdez. Investigators say he killed her a month ago after the two got into an argument, but they just arrested him this week.
We are learning new information about a man accused of killing his father. The Davidson County Sheriff's Office says Jamie Allen Coe was found dead inside his home early this morning. They say he was shot, and deputies believe it was his son who shot him. Justin Allen Coe was arrested and charged with murder and is being held in Davidson County Jail without bond.
It'll soon be legal to bet on sports online in our state. Governor Cooper made it official today when he signed the bill into law. Lawmakers approved it earlier this month. Starting next January, 8 facilities in the state will be able to operate a sports book, including Sedgefield Country Club and North Wilkesboro Speedway. Several universities will get $300,000 every year from license fees and taxes. They include North Carolina A&T, UNCG, and Winston-Salem State.
Guilford County Representative Kathy Manning reintroduced a bill today that guarantees people have access to birth control. The Right to Contraception Act passed with bipartisan support in the House last year, but never cleared the Senate. Right now, a Supreme Court ruling protects the right. Manning says she worries the court could overturn that ruling. The bill is unlikely to pass with Republicans controlling the U.S. House.
The newest Triad Lidl location is opening its doors in 2 weeks. The grocery chain is holding a grand opening on the 28th at its store on Martinsville Road in Greensboro. Lidl is also partnering with Second Harvest Food Bank to provide food to people in need.
At the end of the week, Guilford County is ending its emergency rental and utility assistance program. The pandemic-related program was funded by COVID relief dollars. The county says since February of 2021, it's processed over 15,000 applications for assistance, paying applicants $2,800 on average. They will continue processing existing applications, but once their funding runs out, they will stop considering applicants. If you need rental or utility assistance, there are programs out there to help. Dial 211 for more information on those programs.
Guilford County leaders are trying to set the record straight over the future of the former Irwin Montessori School. At a meeting last night, they tried to clarify their positions involving the old school that was heavily damaged in a tornado in 2018. Commission Chair Skip Alston cleared up misconceptions. The county plans to use the building as a homeless shelter. County leaders say they're actually looking for a separate site that would act more as a homeless shelter. The county says it is still working to finalize the concept for the former school.
The future of the middle college at Bennett is up in the air. Guilford County Schools is considering permanently closing the school on Bennett's college campus. The school wasn't even open this past year. District leaders blame conflicting schedules with the college. Just one day a week of in-person classes. GCS is holding a public hearing about it next Thursday.
Alamance Burlington Schools is raising breakfast and lunch prices next school year. They're going up about 50 cents. The district blamed higher food prices and said new prices are in line with surrounding districts.
Guilford County Schools is expanding its free meals program next year. 27 more schools will allow all students to eat for free. So that's bringing the total number to 92 schools. These new schools met the threshold based on need. If your student's school is not included, you can still apply for free or reduced lunch.
Feeding kids food over the summer is also a concern for school districts. Lots of families cannot afford 3 meals a day when school's out. That's why districts offer summer meal programs. You can find the full list for surrounding schools on our website.
Library is partnering with Washington Terrace Pool to keep you cool this summer. It's part of their Borrow and Experience program. Anyone with a library card can borrow a pass, which is good for up to 4 people. You do need to reserve the pass through their website. The passes are valid from now until August 10th.
Well, typical summertime pattern for us kind of slips into place, and it's that time of the year when we start to see, a 20 or 30% chance of a shower almost every day. Anything more than that, once you get up that 40 or 50%, it usually means some sort of system going by. But a 20 or 30% every day is just a pop-up, isolated late day shower or storm, and that is the pattern that we're in. And that's normal for us this time of the year. 86 in Burlington right now. It's getting warm. Sanford at 84. We go to 81 in Winston-Salem and Walnut Cove. It's 79 in Mount Airy. Low 80s in Wilkesboro as well. A little bit breezy today. Winds 10 to 15. We even have current winds at 17 miles per hour. Most of this out of the west to southwest, so just a little bit of a breeze. Not bad. And as we head into Thursday, those temperatures will go back up to the 80s again, mid 80s. We do see a rain chance and a chance of a scattered storm. Again, it is just a here or there type thing as we head into the next several days. And our temperatures, low to mid 80s is pretty much a rule for most of our long range forecast. Not seeing a whole lot of clouds right now. Go out to a wider shot. We do see that disturbance to the south of us. Georgia getting a lot of rain and some thunderstorm activity in that. That's moving into the upstate of South Carolina as we speak. And in the southern Piedmont too, might see a little bit of that. Here's what's happening though. With the low pressure to our north, we see everything kind of clearing out, right? So we just get a pop-up late day shower or two, but with high pressure building in, that means some of our temperatures will go up until we see our next cold front start to move through. So here's what it looks like on the 7-day. Let's throw in a 30% late day pop-up. That'll be for Thursday and Friday, 83 to 85. Saturday, Sunday, beautiful weekend. Father's Day, 85 and only a 3 in 10 chance of a late day shower. Better rain chances at the beginning of next week. Let's go with scattered showers and storms. High temperatures cool down behind that next cold front. We're in the mid to upper 70s for Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday.
Today is World Blood Donor Day. Blood centers nationwide are working to recruit a new generation of donors. In the last decade, donors under the age of 30 have dropped by nearly a third. But a new high-tech experience could help change that.
Every year for his birthday, Partid Patel takes time to give to others by donating blood.
It's a small thing that I can do for someone else.
The 25-year-old has been giving for years.
Let me see both of your arms.
But he's never made a donation quite like this.
I'm seeing an orb and it's talking to me right now.
The New York Blood Center is the first in the country letting donors don high-tech mixed reality glasses to transport them to a virtual Zen garden they control with their eyes while their arms stay still.
It's a garden that I'm looking at.
Is it relaxing?
Yep, it is relaxing.
Healthcare company Abbott designed the experience to help calm first-time donors and hopefully bring in young people. Nationwide, since the pandemic, high school and college-age donors are down by half.
So we're hoping they're going to come back. And hopefully when they start hearing about the mixed reality, they're going to want to come in and try it.
I tried it myself.
So I can see through the goggles, but then I can see the video at the same time.
One key feature, while you're exploring virtually, your eyes remain visible.
Oh, there's one.
That's vital so staff can monitor you during donations.
And they're able to even just flip it up quickly if they need to connect with the donor at that moment.
Patel says he'd use the mixed reality glasses again, but the best part of donation is still the snack and juice afterwards.
This one's not virtual.
And the knowledge his gift really will help save lives. Bradley Blackburn, CBS News, New York.
Oh, it is always the snacks for me. I love the snacks at the end because, you know, typically I don't eat some of that food during the week. I try to stick to a diet, but I say, you know what, when I donate blood, I deserve these snacks. But back to what the story was about. I think it's a great idea. Anytime you can try to convince people to donate blood, because you all know the process. You just kind of sit there.
Whatever it takes.
And, you know, some people are nervous about giving blood.
Absolutely.
Or are they going to take too much blood? Am I going to pass out afterwards? So I think anything can help. I do think, I'm like, okay, this is something different. It seems a little over the top, but if it works, hey.
Funny story, first time I ever gave blood, it was in high school, and our Spanish teacher says if the only way I'll let anybody out of this pop quiz, I'm just surprise quiz I'm doing right now, is if you go get blood. I said, I'll go get blood. Because I didn't feel like I'd studied enough, so I went to get blood. So it's me and and I was a tiny little dude, and the football player next to me, he passed out and I didn't. Oh, really? And I remember sitting there afterwards being a little nervous, you know, and looking around, he went boom, like that. Wow. I thought, wow.
So the first time I tried to give blood, I was so disappointed, so I made sure I ate the right things, that my iron was up. I get there, they said, how tall are you? I said, I'm 5'1.5". They said, 1 second. They came back, they said, so we're gonna have to round down. You have to be at least 5'2" to give blood. So here's your t-shirt and your cookie, because it's based on your weight and your height. Oh, wow. And there were people shorter than me that gave blood, so since then I was like, I'm 5'2".
Yeah. Hey, but you got a free cookie out of it.
Yeah, I guess.
That's the payoff. All right, we're coming right back. You know, sometimes you see those incredible older historic homes and you wonder that age-old question, if those walls could talk. Well, there's one incredible home in Greensboro. It is over 100 years old and it is a treasure for the Triad. I spoke with Realtor Melissa Greer today about the particulars involved when you're buying a historic home, but also just the amazing beauty of this particular house.
If they're done well, you have charm, you have quality in construction, you have materials that you couldn't even purchase today, and they still look great. So it's really hard to replicate the original materials. And you have tall ceilings, windows. You have a lot of the same things that in luxury new homes we see, but actually better quality probably. And then it's got this fabulous 2-story entry with an incredible exposed stairway. Very architecturally significant and just done. This was 6 apartments when the current owners bought it, and they converted it back to a single family residence. So they won the Preservation Greensboro Award in 2001. It's got the original mahogany pocket doors that are just beautiful and in incredible condition. So I just think it's one of the finest homes I've ever, worked with. And whenever I show it, I love being in there. It's got incredible energy, but it represents so much of what Greensboro is all about.
Where do I sign?
I know, right?
Love
yeah,
it.
we won't talk about the price tag. It is a 6,000 square foot home. It is huge, but it's beautiful. And one of the things that Melissa was saying that I always forget about until you go in a home like this, the type of flooring and the type of windows, you can't find that anymore. You can't buy that anymore because it's too expensive.
A classic car.
Yes, that's exactly right. And so like some of the floor, the boards are like that thick, the hardwoods. And so that original type stuff you don't get. And she said this one was called the Hewitt House, and that was the last name of the guy who built it. He was also the founder of what would become Greensboro Parks and Rec. So he loves, and it's in the Fisher Park district, so he loved the idea of parks, and that was a passion of his and his organization. He basically founded the Parks and Rec department for Greensboro. It was called something different way back then, but.
Would you live in it, or would you rent it out for events?
That's what I was
It could
thinking.
be an event space.
Because the staircases are absolutely beautiful. So I was thinking it would need to be probably a younger family, because if you were to move into that and you get a little older, you're not going to want to go up and down all those stairs. So I think using it as a venue space would be nice.
It might not be bad. And there are 4 fireplaces, because back then, and those, keep in mind, this thing was built in 1918. Beautiful. So there's a fireplace in the master bedroom, and there's one in the den, and it's gorgeous.
Well, if they need me to house sit,
yes,
I'm available.
So another thing with this, they said at some point, somebody who owned it turned it into apartments and sectioned it off. These people bought it and redid the inside to make it a single family.
Wow.
So when it comes to a historic home, how much change can you actually apply to it?
So that's something I couldn't even fit in this story. She said that's one of the few cons of buying one, because if it is historic, they won't let you make but so many changes because they want to keep the history value to it. So
wow.
Good.
It's beautiful.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
Look at it.
All right, I'm about to go off to my home.
Pretend like we're walking back here. We'll do the 4 to 5 live there one day.
Right.
Let's take a look at our forecast and see what's going on. Gosh, that thing is just beautiful. When you talk about the next few days, we're just going to see some really comfortable days and decent sky conditions. Just know, and by the way, this is a time lapse. You can hardly see anything changing. There, finally, a couple of clouds. That's kind of what we're going to see for a while, where you get clearer skies early, then a pop-up little cloud forming here or there, a thunderstorm or two. We'll see that over the next couple of days. The weekend actually looks pretty good. In fact, I think we could say, let's say mostly dry this weekend, and then next week it's a whole different ballgame as another front will approach. Our Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday of next week looks like we might see a few extra showers and storms out there. So know that that's the case and enjoy this weekend. It's Father's Day anyway. It would be a good one. 79 in Mount Airy, 81 in Walnut Cove, 86 in Burlington, Siler City at 84. So tonight's low, pretty mild. We'll stay in the low 60s, partly cloudy skies, 61. Again, we can't rule out that you might see a pop-up little shower or storm tonight. We're just not seeing a whole lot just yet. 83 for the high tomorrow, and again, scattered clouds. We're not seeing much on the radar here, but if we go out to this wider shot, yeah, you see some instability to the south. And most of that that is in Georgia and moving into South Carolina right now, but that is something that we'll watch as we go into the next few hours. 7-day forecast, though, we are looking pretty good all the way through the weekend. Let's go with a 30% chance of a late day pop-up shower or storm. That's Thursday, Friday. The high temperatures next 2 days, 83, 85. We hold at 85 through your weekend, Saturday and Sunday. Saturday looks pretty dry, then mainly dry on Father's Day. That's a 30% chance. It's that Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday time period things change. 50% chance on Monday, 60% Tuesday, back to a 50-50 shot on Wednesday, and markedly cooler. I mean, we're way below our normals. 78 on Monday, 76 Tuesday, and that Wednesday temperature is 10 degrees below normal for this time of the year.
There are new residents at the Greensboro Science Center. They announced the birth of 2 red panda cubs today. The male and female twins were born at the end of May and are the second litter born at the Science Center. Right now, guests can view cubs through the surgery window and are invited to watch feeding. So if you have a chance, you want to get on over there and see them.
What have you got?
From one cute litter to another, there was a really unique gender reveal at a zoo in Australia. Keepers bit into these cupcakes to reveal the genders of 4 cheetah cubs. There were 2 males and 2 females. It was an important discovery, actually, because their social behaviors differ according to their genders. Female cheetahs are solitary, but males form groups that tend to stay together for life. So now they're going to pair those 2 males with another young male at the zoo.
They're so beautiful.
Cute, they are.
Cute. What a good idea. What was like the craziest gender reveal that you've ever been to?
I haven't been to a crazy one, but I've seen some online. I think the craziest one I saw, it was like an alligator. Someone had an alligator and they threw like a watermelon in the alligator's mouth, and when it crushed, a certain color came out. And I said, is that even necessary?
Wow.
What state did this happen
You win
in?
the prize, Florida. Yeah.
I think that's where it was,
Yeah,
honestly.
I'll bet it was. I don't think I've never been to one that was over the top, you know, just the balloons and
Or
all
the
that
cake
stuff.
slice.
Yeah, yep, that's kind of a me too. Or like shooting at something with
Or the
something else.
popper.
Or Did I ever tell you? I'm sorry if I've already told this story, but when I went to a gender reveal and the mom to be cried because she didn't want the gender.
I think you've shared that
no.
before, and I've seen that on social media
That's
too.
awkward.
And it wasn't like a cry like I'm happy. It was like a cry because she
sob?
was devastated
Oh
that
my
she was having a boy.
Oh,
I feel so.
no.
Obviously, you're gonna fall in love with your child
Yes,
when
you
you see
will.
them. But I
You
feel
will.
sorry for that child when they look back at the video of their
Right.
gender reveal.
And we all just kind of like left the room.
Yeah,
kinda
so we
like,
just
Yeah.
walk away.
It's tears of joy. It's tears of joy, everybody. I promise.
Well, and you're right. Give her some time.
Give her some time.
When she sees that
She
little
probably
baby.
her whole life was like, oh, I want a
Yes.
little girl to be my mini me and all that kind of stuff. But
Good news, she does have a girl now. Too.
Oh, good one.
So
Good.
Okay,
The
see?
second one is a girl.
worked out.
I have to admit, my fourth one, after having 3 boys, I was keeping fingers crossed
Yeah.
for a girl. Yeah. All right, we'll be right back and take a short break.
Hola, mic check 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10. Mic check, mic check, mic.
They got it, bro. They got it.
Welcome back to your 4 to 5. Eric, Chad, and Lauren with you today. We've got all kinds of people waiting in the wings, a cast of thousands.
It's a party in here.
Oh boy, we got some good stuff
We do.
on tap this half hour. Are you ready for the coolest story of the day? It's happening right now. Some local healthcare workers got a special visit today. NBA legend Magic Johnson spoke at Atrium Health Wake Forest Baptist.
The Hall of Famer shared his own health journey battling HIV for decades and helped the hospital celebrating hitting the century mark. WFMY News 2 Jill and Gilkey listened in on the event.
Yeah, Irvin Magic Johnson is more than a 5-time NBA champion, 3-time league most valuable player turned business mogul. He's a man with a special place in his heart for healthcare workers due to his own personal battles. And today he made a stop at Atrium Health Wake Forest Baptist to show his appreciation for the work that they do.
These frontline workers, you want to always try to bless them and say thank you to them for saving people's lives.
As Atrium Health Wake Forest Baptist Hospital celebrates 100 years of serving the community here in the Triad, they got a special visit from one of the most successful professional athletes of all time.
When you think about the healthcare system, Atrium, and everybody here, the job that they do here is amazing. When you bless people to have a long, productive life, it's it's a true blessing.
Johnson took time out to encourage staff, sign a few autographs, and of course, flash that signature smile that we've come to know over the last 40-plus years. But he also wanted to stress the importance of visiting your doctor and knowing what it is that you're dealing with.
A lot of times in the black and brown community, there's a lot of misinformation. And so I have to come and give them the right information and try to make them understand and go get their physical. Because a lot of times, if early detection could save our lives, I want to make sure that minorities go and get their physicals, know their status, and that's important that I get out here and always talk about it.
Johnson, who was diagnosed with HIV while in the NBA, had a special message he wanted to share with all the viewers who may be dealing with some health issues.
Things are going to happen. It's how you deal with those situations. And always remember, there's always a situation that you can solve that problem. All right, so solve your problem and then move forward and move on. Keep living. God is good.
Love that.
Such a legend, man. That's cool.
It was pretty cool.
How are you feeling right now? I mean,
And so it was high anticipation as like we were building up, waiting on him to come in, and I kind of saw him through the window, and I tapped one of the other photographers. I said, "Here he comes."
Here he is. Here he is.
Because he was just a big gray square block in the window. I said, "That's got to be him. It was his suit," and he was just in the way. You couldn't even see his head. But when he walked in, the room just lit up.
I'm sure.
And I mean, literally after the first question, he just took over, and he had everybody in the palm of his hand.
He's a personality. He's not, you think about great legends that are great players in sports. Some of them don't like the camera.
Exactly.
He loves the camera. It was so good with
it was unbelievable. And actually, it didn't look like he was going to have time to answer our questions, but he saw that we had a couple of the other reporters out there, and he saw that we had questions, and he stopped and turned around and was like, "You guys want to ask some questions?" Like, "I got a couple more minutes, we can do that."
I love that.
It was great.
He seems so personable, and especially with a topic that some people might feel uncomfortable talking
Shy
about,
away
and
from,
it's
yeah.
such an important topic to talk about. Seems like the great person to come here to do that.
And I mean, he could easily, like anybody else, you get this disease or any disease, and you say, I'm never going to talk about it.
Yeah.
And I mean, that's clearly not been the case here.
Well, especially at the time when he was diagnosed. You know, that was big for him to come out and talk. Absolutely, I do. That rocked the sports world, and he was really representing a lot of people at a time when they weren't represented at all.
And to see all that he's accomplished since then, and still living years and years, it's not a death sentence. He's an example
That's
of
his message. Just a great person. Took time to stop and take pictures with whoever wanted it. It was a great time.
So is today the day that you interviewed the most famous sports person on your list?
On my sports list, yes, but he's up there with Reverend Jesse Jackson.
Yeah.
Okay.
Those are the two that are highest on my list right now, so for sure.
It's a pretty good list.
It was great.
Yep.
Jalen, thanks. All right, from the court to the diamond, the Wake Forest Demon Deacons have made it to Omaha for the College World Series. WFMY News 2's Amanda Ferguson had a look at the send-off today.
Earlier today, the Deacs set out for Omaha, where they will play in the College World Series. The community came together to send off the team and wish them luck. Head coach Tom Walter and the Demon Deacons got a great send-off from fans at the ballpark earlier today. Wake Forest is playing in the College World Series for the first time in 68 years. Long time. Star third baseman Brock Wilkin tells us the turnout this morning by Deacon Nation was something special.
Deacon Nation shut out once again. I mean, these fans are awesome. They're the true loyal Deke fans, and I appreciate every single one of them. So fitting. These guys showed up for the last 4 months of the season, so being able to come out here and have one final send-off it's pretty special.
Wake Forest opens play in Omaha on Saturday against Stanford. First pitch is set for 2 p.m.
And think about just the target they have on their back, coming in as the #1 over. I mean, wow, if I were Stanford, I'd be shaking in my boots.
I would be too, but this is what you play for, this is what you dream about, and even though they've had a lot of pressure on them because they are that #1 seed, you're supposed to win it, they don't seem like they have that pressure. It's there, but they are very relaxed.
I was going to say that is great because sometimes that pressure can get to you and you can psych yourself out.
Well, in their last game, if I'm not mistaken, I think they won like 22-5.
That is correct.
So you can't let that get in your head like we're killing this.
They just have to go out and play their game, and I think they'll be fine. But there's 8 teams there. It's It's anyone's to take at this point, so.
That's fun. I love that.
I used to live in Nebraska, and so we would go to the College World Series every year, and just to see the amount of fans who have come from all of these schools around the country. I mean, College World Series lasts for like 2 weeks.
Yeah.
So I mean, people are there for a long time, and so I really hope that fans travel well for Wake Forest.
I'm sure they will, because this is a once in a lifetime kind of a type of event. It's like the Final Four. It's like that type of magnitude.
All the stars aligned.
Yep,
for the Demon Deacons.
I love it.
Alrighty. We're wishing them the best of luck. Well, switching gears now, if you play basketball, you know there's really no bigger accomplishment than winning the NBA championship and being named your team's MVP. But for Denver Nugget player Nikola Jokic, it was just another day at the office.
So I'm curious what you are feeling right now, and if you're looking forward to a parade coming up in Denver.
When is parade? When is parade?
Thursday.
No. I need to go home. That's a normal thing, you know. Nobody likes his job, or maybe they do. They're lying.
Wait, what happened?
He basically was just saying, "I just need to go home." Like he didn't even address the fact that he's like one of the greatest players. Just like, I just need a break, need to go home. That's good. I mean, you know what? He takes it in stride. He's really more about winning the game. You watch him play. I said it during the commercial break. I said he's a beast. He doesn't take mess from anybody. He's pushing people around. Man, he's just a strong player.
It would have been funny to see him like that Denver fan who was doing. Do you see that doing pull-ups on the street light?
Oh no!
At their party. Like after they won, like it was crazy. Like,
out on the street, he was hanging on the. Oh my gosh.
Like doing pull-ups, and people all below him were just going
cheering
crazy.
and rooting him on.
Fun. All right, I think we're going to talk about weather one more time.
It'd be hot if you were doing pull-ups outside tonight.
Yes, do it in the evening. Don't do that at all. That is not safe. Why did I just tell you to do pull-ups on the street light? That's not good. We're in the 80s right now today, and this is where we're going to stay. Okay, so low to mid 80s. It's kind of like where we're locked in until next week. The biggest change for us will be from Sunday, Father's Day, to Monday as we see highs. In fact, by middle of next week, we might be 10 degrees below normal for a change. I know we can't shake that cool weather and get fully into summer, but it feels like it right now. 84 in High Point, Burlington at 86. We're not seeing much in the way of cloud cover or rain for us right now. Technically, there's a slight chance tonight, but right now we're looking pretty good. 80 in Mount Airy, 74 Galax. All right, overnight lows tonight, which means tomorrow morning's temperature for you, around 61 degrees. We'll go 83 for the high tomorrow and scattered clouds. About a 30% chance, 20 to 30% late day pop-up shower storm. We'll look for that for Thursday and Friday. I think the weekend, though, looks mainly dry. We look like we're in pretty good shape. Not dry to the south. Much of Georgia, from Atlanta all the way over to the central parts of South Carolina, and now actually creeping into, say, Greenville and Spartanburg area, they're getting some rain, and some of that in the form of heavier thunderstorm activity. A lot of that will stay to the south of us as we watch the systems over the next couple of days. When you look at it, it looks like our winds are kind of coming more from the west, which we call a zonal flow, which usually keeps things fairly calm, but with temperatures in the 80s, we can't rule out that late day shower or thunderstorm. It's a 30% for your Thursday, Friday. Highs 83 and 85. We'll hold at 85. That's really from Friday all the way through the weekend, for that matter. And Father's Day looks good, only a 30% chance. Next week, though, rain chances up, 50 to 60%, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Highs go 78 Monday, 76 Tuesday, and 10 degrees below normal at 75 on Wednesday.
The Guilford County Health Department is hosting a free car seat inspection and hot car awareness event tomorrow. Certified technicians will inspect car and booster seats, and experts will educate parents about child heat stroke and prevention. Just show up to the High Point Publix tomorrow between 10 and 1.
We're counting down to Greensboro's third annual Juneteenth celebration. The holiday celebrates when the last African Americans were freed from slavery. One of the event's organizers explained how the city planned to make the celebration even bigger this year.
On Thursday is our kickoff. We're having a all-black woman kind of a cabaret at the Carolina Theater. On Friday, we have the Arts Legacy Awards. That's going to be at the Van Dyke. April and I are both doing festivals. I'm doing mine at the Sternberger Park, which is the Arts and Craft Festival, and she has the Greensboro Black Food Truck Festival. And on Sunday, we have the Gospel Superfest Interfaith celebration. That's going to be at Barber Park. So we have a 4-day weekend worth of activities.
Greensboro's Juneteenth Festival will be this Saturday at 5 p.m. at LeBauer Park and Center City. We have more information posted on our website, WFMYnews2.com.
The Greensboro Transit Agency is offering free rides next Monday as part of Juneteenth. Riders can travel all routes at no charge. It is important to note this only includes Access GSO, not Access iRide.
Greensboro's Juneteenth Festival is just one of many Juneteenth events happening across the Triad. For a list of events, just text the word Juneteenth to this number 336-379-5775 and we'll send it right to you.
Hey, ice cold milk and an Oreo cookie, they forever go together like a classic combination. Dark delicious cookie meets an icy cold. Today, of course, is Flag Day. Now, this is a common object, and while we know it is red, white, and blue, did you know that the colors are specific? Yeah, according to the U.S. Embassy website, the colors are Pantone 282C, that's called Old Glory Blue, and then Old Glory Red is PMS 193C. Well, the Field of Honor at Triad Park in Kernersville shows you the history of the American flag. And there have been 27 versions of the flag since the U.S. was founded in 1776. But this park shows the history of the flag even from when the Freedom Riders banded together. So this is history before history, right? On June 14th, though, 1977, the Second Continental Congress adopted the flag that we know kind of today. It's got the 13 red and white alternating stripes. The stars represent the number of states. Now, I have several people in my neighborhood who fly the flag all the time. Did you guys have families that did that?
I have one. On my new townhouse. It's right.
You do?
Yeah, like
nice.
it's out
And was
front.
that something that you were like, I have a house, I would like to fly the flag?
It actually was left by the previous owner.
Oh, okay. Oh,
that's
and
cool.
I said, I'm going to leave it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
We have one, but we're bringing it out for holidays and stuff. you know.
Okay.
I have several neighbors who had the big flag, and then we've had the little ones that you put in like the garden and different things like that.
Right, right. Okay, so here's the question, and here's one of many questions the Guilford County Register of Deeds is going to tackle tonight at 5:30. Is it illegal to wear the flag as apparel? Thoughts?
So the actual flag, like
Well,
if you made a
or
cape
to
out of it
wear-
or of
Or
a
the
flag.
design.
Of the design.
Because Old Navy has a ton of
Yeah.
Sure they
flag.
do. Mhm.
I'll say
I
it might be an antiquated law that never got taken off.
Yeah, you're tricking
There's a
us.
trick
Yeah,
question.
I think so.
Okay, here's the answer, friends. There are lots of opinions about this, but the flag code etiquette says it is frowned upon to use it as apparel or bedding or whatnot, but in the end, it is not a law, so therefore it's not illegal, but it is a patriotic custom that the flag should never be used as wearing for apparel or bedding or drapery or any of that kind
Because
of
it's like
jazz.
more serious of a thing, and it shouldn't just be like,
Yep.
look at me in my shirt.
Right.
I remember
it.
my grandfather or my dad also saying it should never touch the ground. I
Oh
remember
yeah,
my dad
that
saying that.
it should never touch the ground.
We're going to talk about that too. That's going to happen at 5:30. So if you've got some flag facts or you think they're facts, you might want to tune in at 5:30, see what he says about that. And the Register of Deeds does all kinds of other stuff like that you don't even know that you need, but you need, right? Right. So we're going to talk to him. Now let me leave you with these flag facts. 31 words that you know as the Pledge of Allegiance to the flag. But when the pledge first came out, it looked kind of like this. You can see that there are words that were not included. The author, Francis Bellamy, wrote the pledge for all countries to use as a pledge to whatever their flag was. In 1923, the words of the United States of America were included, and it would be decades before the pledge changed. It was 1954 that President Eisenhower was responding to communist threats and encouraged Congress to add the words "under God." And that is how it stands today.
Richard Childress Racing and Dow is honoring veterans this Flag Day. This morning, they unveiled the new design on the number 3 car. A record 2,131 U.S. military veterans and active duty military members will ride with driver Austin Dillon at the Atlanta Motor Speedway on July 9th. Dillon, and the president of Richard Childress Racing, says it's something that means a lot to veterans and their families.
It definitely spider webs, and you can see the emotion from the people getting to see their family members' names on the car, someone they were close to, and to be able to honor them and remember them, it's special.
It's really a great feeling when to see how excited people get when they see their name on the car. And I've worked in the sport for 18 years now, and you sort of take it for granted, all the paint schemes that you see, and there's drivers' names obviously on the car every week, but when you see your own name on the car, it's really a cool experience. And then to be able to recognize family members is also really cool.
This is the 9th year that Dow has partnered with RCR to honor U.S. military veterans. The program began with just over 350 veterans in 2015 to a record of more than 2,100 this year. Very cool.
It's something so easy for Richard Childress Racing, for anybody else to do, is to put a little tiny name on a car.
Yeah.
But the impact that it has on these families, especially knowing how much their loved one went through in their military career and that kind of stuff, that stays with you forever.
And it's passed down generation to generation. I don't think you can never do too much to honor them.
And the iconic number 3 car. I mean, that's a double whammy there for them. But you're right, the families, especially NASCAR fans that are families of these veterans, just really appreciate this. It means probably more to them than we really understand, unless you're a veteran yourself.
Yeah.
We have to talk to Lauren's dad. He would understand.
Yeah, I have to bring him on to the 4 to 5.
Please do. I'm dying to meet him. He's got so many medals, I don't even know what it looks like. It's wearing a jacket.
He's pretty decorated.
Yeah. This is one more thing before we let this go. I love that they've been doing this for 9 years. I hope they never stop. It means a lot to these families, and really, it means a lot to the sport.
Yeah.
Because it also draws in some people to watch this because they want to see this. You know, Austin Dillon's from the Triad too, so it's good for. I'm glad that there's a Triad tie, and it brings people into this sport for lots of different reasons.
And NASCAR is such a military supporting sport.
Yeah, it is
too. So I think it's I love it. I love that they do this.
And it's a nice looking car.
It is.
Yeah, it's
very
beautiful.
nice.
I also like it when the Carolina Panthers do their camo.
Yes.
That's really cool. All right, let's get to our forecast, and we've got some changes coming up by next week. Until then, I think we're in good shape. We're kind of like where we should be. I want to show you a broader picture with temperatures this go around. So we stretch all the way back to Nashville, 80 degrees there, 83 in Columbia. If you look at this and you see the yellows and greens, which represent the cooler areas instead of the oranges being hotter, yeah, you can see who's getting the rain right now, right? Parts of Georgia. Atlanta's 69 degrees. Meanwhile, we're at 81. 85 in Elizabeth City and in Wilmington. And it looks like our temperatures are going to remain fairly comparable to where they should be this time of the year for the next 2 or 3 days. Our weekend looks really good. If you have outdoor plans, you're going to be in good shape. We'll drop down to the 70s pretty quickly, maybe even by 7 tonight, and then some 60s by midnight. That's where we should bottom out in the lower 60s for our overnight lows, and then highs tomorrow in the low 80s, low to mid, depending on where you are, from north to south through our viewing area. A couple of clouds here and there. Go out to a wider shot. There's that rain we talked about, stretching from Atlanta and really now moving in to central parts of South Carolina, Columbia, and the 5 Points area there, getting a little rain. Also the upstate of South Carolina. Charlotte may get some of that. They're right on the edge of that, and therefore, just for that reason, we can't rule out an isolated shower or storm for us into the evening, but it really looks like this is more of a farther to the south thing. Now tomorrow, 30% chance of rain, and we're going to hold that into Friday. We think this weekend is looking really good. Father's Day also. It's next week that the next system comes in, and that really changes things for us fairly dramatically because we could see those temperatures drop down, maybe even 10 degrees below normal by the middle part of next week. So we haven't let go of those cooler temperatures just yet. Just when we thought it was going to feel like June, we get a little taste of March or April again. Tonight, 61 degrees. There's that isolated storm chance. Not a great one, but probably more likely in points to the south. And tomorrow, the high temperature of 83. We'll put the 30% chance of a shower in tomorrow. And this is a normal summertime pattern, so don't think we're going to see a lot of rain from this. This is an isolated late day pop-up variety. That's Thursday and Friday, 83 and 85. We're going to hold in the mid 80s through the weekend. Saturday, probably our driest day. And then Sunday, a 30% chance we'll stay at 85 both days. Next week, the next frontal boundary that moves through, yeah, that drops us down temperature-wise. 78 on Monday, 76 Tuesday, 75, that's 10 degrees below normal for Wednesday. Rain chances are up, and that could mean thunderstorms as well. 50-50 shot Monday, 60% Tuesday, and a 50% chance by Wednesday.
Was the last couple days. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
One, two, three, 3, 2, 1. Am I at touch? I think I'm at touch. I should be at touch.
Mic check, mic check, mic check. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Check, check.
Cold milk and an Oreo cookie, they forever go together like a classic.
Check for me. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
Again. Can you hear me? You definitely can see me in this bright.
It's time for my 2 cents. I do some of my best thinking at night after I've showered and I've tucked myself in bed. This is a time I think about my hopes, my dreams, but sometimes my worries. Last night was one of those nights. I found myself waking up every hour, tossing and turning. I was thinking about appointments I needed to schedule and work deadlines I had coming up. Sometimes it almost feels like a tennis match in my mind with thoughts bouncing back and forth. For me, procrastination tends to drive these thoughts. This got me thinking, if I just get ahead of these tasks, maybe they would no longer be of concern. Let's make a to-do list, starting with the smallest task first. Anything I could get done easily and in a short amount of time. Once those responsibilities are out of the way, I can focus on the bigger tasks that may require more of my energy. Putting your task on paper may help you realize you don't have as many things to do as you first thought. Procrastination is what made everything feel so overwhelming. So if you struggle to get some shut-eye due to racing thoughts, I recommend jotting things down. It might sound cliche, but it may just be the thing to help put your worries to rest. That's my 2 cents. That's your 4 to 5. WFMY News 2 at 5 starts now. New at 5, a Piedmont Triad community is dealing with the sudden deaths of 2 young people.
A 17-year-old and a 19-year-old from Randolph County died in the last 10 days. Now, many in the Eastern Randolph High School community are mourning the loss of 2 of their own. WFMY News 2's Amber Lake spoke with students who are grieving again.
It's been a heavy past couple weeks for the town of Ramseur.